he felt like, well, he's saying to me now, he says it was a shame that we had to get to those points to have to put kids in a position where, where we could have settled it another way. Like when I hear from people like that, 3 or 4 people reached out to me and said how much they loved him, and he was just a great guy to sit and talk with. That makes me feel good.
And like he's a legend of that world for sure. So they're sitting with a piece of history. But that's really cool that you got to write that letter and get that off your chest.
It was the best.
I love that.
It was the best feeling, and the fact that I got the reaction, which again, no expectations. I learned a long time ago not to have expectations of anyone, And when he called, I was like, oh, thank you, God. Like he got it. Like it hit his soul. I could feel it. He was at that time he was in Missouri. Okay. So that's where he passed. And I could feel the energy between us. And I was like, oh, this is
so awesome. This is right near the end.
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful.
What's cool to me is that his trials in his life, obviously lead to our testimony. And what those letters are saying to you is he ministered to other people.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you think about that, that's 100%. Powerful. That's God.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, that's probably where he secured his spot.
Yeah.
For all the things he may have done as a flawed human.
Yeah.
What he did in those last couple months probably was the thing that pushed him where
redemption a little bit, yeah.
I'm not one of, I don't believe in hell and all that shit that they come up with in that religion. So I knew where he was going anyway.
Yeah.
But my mother was afraid for him.
Of course.
And she would say to me, Bree, do you really think I says, Ma, I said, you know how many rosaries he said a day? I said, it's not like he didn't believe and he didn't love God and I said, he just made choices that weren't maybe for, his highest good. I said, but he did a lot of good things too. I said, so it balances out after a while.
Yeah.
But the fact that he copped to who he was and did all of that for his family totally cleared some of the karma.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
it's so similar that is really the common denominator with all quote unquote criminals, is that the family strikes them. And the ones that aren't, they're your psychopaths.
Right.
They're your Jeffrey Dahmers and those. You're not going to get to anybody like that regardless.
Yeah,
but
that's a different.
From the terrorist to the white collar person, if you just say, hey, your wife signed those tax returns as well, so we can. That's it. They'll be like, hey, I did it, 100%. Just got to promise me.
He's saying to me, tell them that if I was still there and I was still doing what I was doing, that there would be much more equality. Oh, he's saying if he was president, that there would be much more equality where money is concerned. Like there would be no poor people in this world, he's saying. Like he would be taxing the people that needed to be taxed.
Right.
In order to have the money for the people that didn't have. And he'd be giving out his own money.
Yep.
Someone call up Bernie Sanders right now. Tell him we just
What
heard.
about soldiers? Was he a patriot with soldiers? And
you mean, did he go to?
No. Was he a patriot? Like, did he love the military and respect it?
He felt like, well, he's saying to me now, he says it was a shame that we had to get to those points to have to put kids in a position where, where we could have settled it another way. I wonder what that means. Where we could have settled it another way and not have a legion of kids die over things that could have been settled. He says that the corruption is beyond, what he says, what I know, of course, because I can't even watch the fucking news.
I know.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So, he sees it from a different perspective now, from a higher perspective. So he's not judging it. He's just saying, oh, God, I see where I could have done. I could have helped in the ways.
The greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your siblings have the opportunity to have a catharsis, if you will, in their own way with your father too?
I'm not sure. I can honestly say that I'm not sure. Because nobody has shared that with me. I can tell you that I have spoken to my sisters and, they get out stuff when they need to that they're still processing. And then there are times where they're okay and they're, we talk it out and it's good.
What kinds of things, if you don't mind me asking?
Like people think we still have a lot of money. Right? People think
buried somewhere or something.
Like when he died, like he left us millions and millions of dollars.
You can take us after.
Yeah. But what they don't realize is I work for a living. My sister's a crossing guard, making money and living off her Social Security and, pension that my ex-brother-in-law had. So we're not living high on the hog.
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes, a sister will get upset like, oh, he could have left us better. Like we wouldn't have to be where we are today if, and then we all look at each other and go, all right, we're learning a lesson from this. There was a reason why we didn't get, I says, and you know what? I don't know if I could have. I said, I would have had to dump that money somewhere where I would have had to change the energy of it. It's blood money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's
like
blood money. That's right.
It's like I would have had to put it into a kid's, place where I could help children with that didn't have homes or that didn't have food or I'd be helping communities left and right with it. So that we would, if it were mine, I wouldn't have kept it. I would have been using it for something better to change the energy of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just those types of things, like things that when you get upset about them now and you think back and you go, God, it could have been so much easier if he would have just this,
right?
Or just this, and the other family was treated very different than us.
How so?
They were favored. They were favored in a lot of ways. He spent 4 out of the 5 during the day, 4 nights at least there.
Yeah.
So he knew them differently, especially than me. And so they all went to college. They all, got their own businesses or whatever, which more power to you. I have no issues with any of that. I have to be honest with you. He wanted to do that for them. Fantastic. I'm not a jealous person. I never was. So for me, it's like, I feel like I'm accomplished because I did it.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so many people get handed to them, not just this.
Absolutely.
So many people get handed to them businesses or a legacy of their.
Yeah.
And they don't even want it, some of them. Right?
Yeah.
They go a whole different direction. But, again, I wish them all well. I hope everybody is good. And I know their mom is still alive. So that's lovely because I wish I had my mom still, right?
Without a doubt.
And I'm actually glad though because she went through a lot physically. So I'm happy that she's
How long
free.
ago did she pass?
2015.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like losing an arm for me.
Yeah.
Because I took care of her my whole life. Even emotionally, I took care of her as a kid. Because I was a change of life baby. Half of them were out of the house. Yolanda, Roseanne, and Andrew. No, Yolanda, Roseanne, and Sal married, all out. Andrew really wasn't living home, on and off. So I was her, kept her going.
Yeah, the second phase, if you will.
Exactly.
Wow.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.